Hey, true believers, Chris Mack coming at you with Nightwing, issue 80. And this book overall was an interesting read. I enjoyed myself, but there are moments that deter from the main story or it kind of takes you out of the moment. But thankfully, as you get towards the end, things start getting back on track. This introduces a villain named Heartless, and I'm glad that when a writer can introduce a new villain character and make you care after all the years and decades that, majority of these characters have been around. So this is Nightwing, Leaping into the Night, Part 3. Tom Taylor, writer, Bruno Redondo, artist, Adriano Lucas, colors, Wes Abbott, letters. There's everyone else working on the book, and the Nightwing persona was created by Marv Wolfman and George Perez. Dick is awakened by the police. They're asking if he knows a person named Martin Holt, who, from what I gleaned, because I didn't read issue 79, is a homeless individual. Dick is helping him, tries to put him in a hotel, and the police, which kind of a little out of character, they just flat out begin to accuse him of murder. And how does that happen? Make sure to read the book. And this is kind of where they segue introducing Barbara. And I'm glad to see these two back together. Because even though I love Dan Jurgens as a writer, and his time on Nightwing, it was engaging and I enjoyed reading it, I hated that Dick Grayson didn't have his memory and he was going by, He was going by Rick Grayson. And I think it's just because it was an overused trope at the time. He didn't have his memory, neither did Aquaman, and he was going by Andy. And when I was reviewing with my buddy over on his stuff, on the Talk Nerdy to Me podcast, I'd always call it The Adventures of Rick and Andy. And it was very boring. So I'm kind of glad that at least Dick here is back to form. Him and Barbara are trying to work things out. And, she's visiting him here in Bloodhaven where he lives. And he's like, how far are you from my place? And she's like, why? Because I'm pretty sure I'm being accused of murder. And you're my only alibi. And this is what I've always enjoyed about Dick. Is he's level-headed compared to a majority of his brothers. Damian and Jason, they're hot-headed. Tim, he's smart. He's calculating. But he overthinks a lot and he worries. And sometimes that is his downfall. And so here, again, what I was talking about being out of character or kind of taking you out of the story is the police are like full-on dicks. And, these two being trained by Batman. We have the daughter of Commissioner Gordon. And Bab sticks it to him. It's kind of a fun read, but I'm just like, I don't think detectives really in real life come off that douchey. I mean, there's the exception, but overall. So anyway, it's kind of fun what happens. There's a lot of sitting and talking in the beginning, and I'm just kind of like, can we move on? Where the book gets interesting for me is Barbara stays. Dick suits up here, and he goes, if I'm right about where the kid is, which is Martin's kid named Elliot, I believe, he goes, I'm going to need some very specific help. I need to make a call. And Babs is like, to whom? Enter, and I'm assuming Robin. I don't think he's going by Red Robin anymore. But I love how Dick says, my brother. That just sent chills down my spine because when you first meet Tim, way back when, which was in a lonely place of dying, which was, I think, essentially Batman Year 3, I think is what it was. It was Tim telling Dick that Batman needs Robin because this was on the heels of Jason Todd's death. And just to see how Tim has grown, mourned for his parents after both of them died, and became a ward of Bruce Wayne, and to see him come into his own. And then I love how Tinian took him and was essentially getting ready to retire him with Stephanie Brown. They were going to be a couple and settle down. And it was just very tragic what happened, but it was very engaging, good storytelling, and this is why I love Tim Drake. So anyway, what kind of kicks all this off is Nightwing's wallet got stolen. And so Tim's like, hey, Bruce has a present for you. He's like, it's a wallet with a chain, so kids can't steal your money. And then what kind of takes me out of character again is he goes, and as an added bonus, you can front a soft metal band in the early 2000s. Now, I get it. This type of tropes go all the way back to Stan Lee, Claremont days of using pop culture references of their day, which, when you go back and read, like, that's kind of corny, but because of the type of chops they had in terms of writing, they could pull it off. Here, Tom Taylor could be a good writer, But when he's good, he's good. And when he's bad, he's terrible. So right there with that kind of bad joke just sort of took me out. That's, again, kind of reminds me of Zdarsky when his first half of Spider-Man sucked because of all the bad puns. And then he got serious with the book, and oh my God, that thing took off. And then Daredevil, and I can't wait to see what he does on Batman. And I'm thinking if Tom Taylor can get over the bad meta humor, I think he'll be okay. So anyway, there's a moment here where they're talking about the death of Alfred, and there's like, I guess, a significant amount of money that Alfred has left, and he's talking about how he wants to use it to help. And it's just a very poignant moment between brothers. And it hit me very emotionally. Now, the reason that Dick needs Tim is he's talking about how there's this sort of like tent city in Bloodhaven that kids are running to and living in. And I like that, the social satire doesn't feel too much on the nose. I mean, it does to a degree, but it doesn't feel like preachy. It's organic to the story. And then there is a really funny joke about this puppy that Dick has, and kind of how Robin, what's his name, Dick, uses Tim to get the dog some walkies in. It's really funny. But anyway, they're thinking that Elliot has run to this tent city, and since Tim's the younger of the family, Nightwing needs him to come in because he figures he can blend in better. And I kind of feel like they jumped. Like, they didn't give Tim any dialogue. It's like, oh, I found Elliot, and then they cut away to them being buddies all of a sudden. And it's just like, wait. And I think the reason being is because they had to get to the action, which we get these two guys, which I cannot remember who they are. Brutal and Electrocutioner, there it is. And they're working for Blockbuster, which Blockbuster is a very old school Batman villain. But they're saying that we need our cut of any type of crime that happens in Bloodhaven. And if we're soft on homeless kids, how's that going to make us look? And then that's what sets Dick off. And, I love how it shows his acrobaticness here on display. He's like, is this really where you want to be in life? And then the action kicks in, and you're like, yeah. Now, what sort of took me out is they go to fight. Dick grabs his Screamo sticks. There they are. And, okay, it's kind of cool that it shows how he's able to stick them together and make them a bow to give to Tim. But here, instead of making it look like a damn Lego instruction, again, drawing the Marvel way, make it dynamic. I mean, hell, even if you want to, make it like Power Rangers where they do their all weird flippity form things. I don't need Lego instructions. That kind of took me out. And then again, another thing, and this was sort of the bitch I have at Future State, the whole manga bit. Now, speaking of which, this is something I jumped over. Let me see if I could find it. Is after Tim and Dick team up. Where is it? Hold on. I will find it. I bet you, because I have it on camera, we're not going to find it. Hold on. They're talking. Stand by. We will find it. Here. So Tim and Dick are chatting over headphones, and Tim just nonchalantly says, so Barbara stayed over last night, huh? And again, this is a serious book. We don't need more freaking manga. They should have cut away to her, having like that Oracle scream, her face bathed in green with kind of a disgusted look. That would have been more Babs. We don't need frigging anime. If I'm going to read manga, I'm going to go buy manga. I want to read Batman. Batman can be lighthearted at times, but that's silly. That again, is not one of those things that took me away. But here, the action, I mean, look at that. Just explodes off the page. And I love how they explain the fight, how these two work in tandem together, and how they're able to take out the two villains. Now, the book ends with a cliffhanger. The tent city becomes, engulfed in flames, and no one can figure out who started it. But then Dick meets someone out of the shadows. So, guys, that's what I meant by Nightwing issue 80. if Tom King could get over the horrible meta jokes or like, hey, I'm going to put in manga tropes and just sticks to like serious drama with a few jokes here and there, like how Zdarsky did a complete 180, I really feel like he could get stronger because he's proved that he's a damn good writer. I mean, look at Injustice Gods and Deceased. Those are great books. But then you look at like X-Men Red and you're like, rrr. And here this is balancing between both, where you can see where he's strong and then you can see his weak points too, where he needs to kind of clean up and be like, you know what, that doesn't work. We need to take that out. That's not Dick Grayson. That's not Batman. So that's my thoughts. I hope that, I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you've enjoyed what you've read, please, first and foremost, support your local comic shop and grab a copy if you have enjoyed this review. We really would appreciate it if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little Robin bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys will get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with you all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.